You've seen it everywhere, right? On social media, you've got athletes, celebrities, your friend who's suddenly a fitness guru, all of them shivering in a tub of ice water. The cold plunge trend is absolutely massive. But let's get real for a second. Beyond the hype, what is the science actually telling us? Okay, let's dive in.
This is the big question, isn't it? And you'd think it would be a simple yes or no, but the truth is way more interesting and a whole lot more complicated. So in this explainer, we're going to break down the actual evidence, get into the physiology of what's happening to your body, and give you the cold, hard facts.
So where do we even begin? Well, let's start with the number one claim you always hear, that ice baths are some kind of miracle cure for sore muscles. And as it turns out, this is where the science is actually the most solid. 96 hours. What does that even mean? Well, a major review of a ton of studies found that taking a cold plunge after a workout can cut down on that awful muscle soreness. You know, the kind that makes it hard to walk down the stairs for up to 96 hours. That's 4 full days of feeling better after you've pushed yourself. Pretty impressive, right?
And this is where it gets really cool. It's not just about what people say. Yeah, the research consistently shows that within a day, people report feeling way less sore. Just as important, their perceived recovery is better. They just feel like they've bounced back. But it's not all in their heads. We can actually measure it. We see a real drop in biochemical markers like creatine kinase, which is basically a signal in your blood that your muscles took a beat.
All right, so the soreness thing seems to check out. But what about all those other huge claims? You know, that ice baths will boost your athletic performance or just wipe out inflammation in your whole body. Well, this is where the icy water starts to get a little bit murky. So on one side, you have the promise, more power, less inflammation. But on the other side, you have the scientific reality. And here's the thing, high-quality studies have found that for performance and inflammation, an ice bath is often no better than just doing an active recovery, you know, like a light jog or a gentle spin on a bike. So the crucial takeaway is, while it might make you feel better, it doesn't necessarily make you perform better than other, less shocking methods.
Okay, so we know it seems to help with soreness, but why? What is actually happening inside your body that creates these effects? This is where we get into the really cool physiological side of things.
And this breaks it down perfectly. Think of it as a 3-step process. First, constrict. The second that cold hits you, your blood vessels clamp down. It's called vasoconstriction. That helps reduce swelling in your tissues. Second, slow down. The cold literally slows down the metabolic activity in those muscles, which helps put the brakes on some of those inflammatory processes. And third, numb. This one's pretty simple. The intense cold acts like a local anesthetic, which dampens the pain signals your muscles are trying to send into your brain.
But, and this is a really, really important but, we have to be scientifically honest here. While those 3 mechanisms make a ton of sense in theory, researchers are quick to point out that we don't fully understand how it all plays out when you dunk your entire body into an ice bath. Right now, these are our best educated guesses, not proven, set-in-stone facts.
Okay, so with all that in mind, if you're thinking, I'm going to try it, you need to know that how you do it matters a lot. It's not just about getting cold for the sake of it. There's a method to the madness, and the research actually gives us some clear guidelines. So the research points to a very clear sweet spot. For temperature, you're looking at around 59 degrees Fahrenheit, that's about 15 degrees Celsius. For duration, the magic window seems to be between 10 and 15 minutes. And timing is absolutely key. To get the best results, you want to take that plunge pretty soon after your workout is over. Now for the potential downsides, and you really need to listen to this part. Some research suggests that if you make ice baths a regular habit, you could actually be blunting your long-term gains in strength and muscle size. Why would that happen? Well, that inflammation we're trying to get rid of is actually a key signal for your muscles to repair and grow stronger, so you might be trading short-term relief for slower, long-term progress. It's a serious trade-off to consider.
So, we've looked at the science on soreness, the mixed bag on performance, the how it works, and the how to do it. After all that, what's the bottom line?
This quote from the research really just sums it all up perfectly. An ice bath is a legitimate, useful tool for a very specific job, making your muscles feel less sore. But, and this is the key part, the science is not unequivocal. That's a scientific way of saying it's not a magic bullet, it's not a cure-all, and it is definitely not a guaranteed performance boost.
And that really leaves us here. You have the scientific breakdown now. You know it's a tool with very specific benefits and some very real potential trade-offs. So the final question isn't for me to answer, it's for you.
Based on your own goals, is that initial teeth-chattering shock worth the very real relief you might get from soreness? The choice is all yours.